are listening to the Space-Tastic Mysteries podcast. We are in week 11 of Anna Gale Line's latest novel, The Lightyears, involving a Mobile Alliance surgical hospital battling an epidemic at the front lines of the Freedom Alliance Crimson Fleet War. This is Episode 11, The Memories. If you have not subscribed, do so now, and if you are on YouTube, hit the bell to be notified of new episodes.
Once we arrived at the bottom of the mountain, I felt around with my foot. When I felt the loose ground, I motioned Jake to join me. When he did, I tapped on the spot in a specific sequence, then the floor beneath us let go and sent us careening in a tube several feet under the ground. After we hit the bottom, I led him 15 minutes east until we came across a town. We walked down the main street and then I ushered him into a large building with pillars outside. We navigated our way to the back, to an office, where I entered a code into the side keypad. The doors split open and once we moved inside, they closed behind us. On the keypad of the inner door, I inputted another code. Then that door opened and swallowed us inside. A woman who sat in a chair in the middle of the room, whose walls were lined with books, looked up at me expectantly. I supplied, "Juliet Oscar Romeo Kilo Alpha Sierra." She nodded, then gestured to Jake with her head. "Is he with you?" "Yes, Kasha," I said in a low tone, "it is Jake." "Jake, buddy, how are you?" "It has been ages," the woman greeted as she stood and walked over to us. She hugged me, then embraced Jake. He quickly took a step back. "It's me, Kasha, too good to hug an old friend?" "I am sorry, I didn't know. How have you been?" "I have been better than you two, it seems. I have not been captured while I have been here. I am glad to see you are both in disguise. They will come after you if they know it is you." She looked to Jake. "They will kill you, but," she persisted, glancing over at me, "they want her to fulfill tradition." "Fulfill tradition," Jake repeated. She nodded. "If you marry one of their sons and have children with him, and he dies, tradition states you are to marry the next brother. They want her to marry their son. They are going to force it. They don't want their grandchildren to be raised by anyone not of their family." I rolled my eyes. "I will not have my children raised by them, nor will I marry Philippe. Josh was the sane one in that family. They have their spies all around you. You need to be careful because these spies are giving them intel on you, and they have killed the people who have not returned by the deadline. What do you know about this disease? Have you found any evidence that it has originated from here? You are going to want to talk to Hunter Mayfield. He is at the university and is one of us. I have set up a meet for you and him tomorrow morning at 0900 hours. I will send the location and the codeword to your Quan pad." "I appreciate that. Has he been researching it for a while?" "Something in my gut wants to test the soil on this planet, but I don't know." "I'd trust your gut," she agreed, catching my eye. "I don't know how it is possible to transmit it through the soil from one planet to another, but go ahead. It would be a great use of your time while Jake and I get reacquainted. He has always had a thing for me. Remember when we, behind the mountains 5 years ago?" I raised my eyebrows, giving Jake an amused look. "Really now?" Jake shook his head and insisted. "I did not knowingly sleep or kiss anyone while I was here. If something happened between you and me, Kasha, I was either out of it or it was non-consensual. You are telling me that you don't remember our relationship, our son, that you said you loved me, and that I was the only one you ever loved? I would never willingly do that to Danny. Kasha, tell him the truth." She wrinkled her nose. Okay, I was trying to see how loyal you are to her. We have never been together nor do we have a son." Jake seemed relieved, then wondered, "Are you trying to find out if I am loyal because you are her friend or because you are interested in breaking us up?" "She is trying to find out how you are going to handle it if Philippe starts throwing those accusations around. We need to know any indiscretions they can bring up on you." "Me? I don't care and don't want to know. That is none of my business, but Philippe. He is going to be cruel and vicious like his father, and is going to make up information to discredit you. We are in disguise. We are safe from all that. These people have their ways. We just have to make sure we are ready for anything." "Are you afraid of him?" I shook my head. "Afraid? No, but I do know that he and his father will get what they want even if they have to kill to get it. I don't know that we can out-scheme him. I had to marry Josh to get off this freaking planet, and here I am again. That is not the Danny I know. She thought we could out-scheme anyone. I have told you 1,000 times. I am not that Danny anymore, and this freaking place did that to me. How many times do I have to say it before it sinks in that I will never be the person I used to be? Kasia agreed. I don't think you ever could be. You were tortured and tormented, physically, emotionally and mentally. And if you two don't find a way to stop Philippe's father, you are going to either end up dead or married to Philippe. Philippe is not like Josh. He is mean and will send my kids away, and I will end up in that prison again. We have to make sure they don't find us. Did you get that tattoo removed? She asked. That was one of the first things Josh and I did. I wonder if everyone who is captured has it. I turned to Jake and wondered, do you have a tattoo from being in captivity? I had it removed. I turned back to Kasia and said, I am guessing he was taken by the same people as me. I suspect so, but I wonder how they decide who goes to which compound. I don't know, but I think Jake and I better go meet my sister before she or I chicken out. Your sister, echoed Kasia. You are going to have to tell me how that came to be when you come back. You two are staying with me while you are here. We are staying in the spacecraft, I insisted, looking her up and down. Will that be safe? It has ID technology. She nodded. Yes, but I would feel safer if I can back you up in case you run into trouble. I patted Jake's shoulder. That is what I have Jake for. I am the brains. He is the muscle, I joked. Then saw Jake's face fall. I am joking. We are both the brains and the muscle. To Kasia, I persisted. We will be fine. You are just one call away if we need you. And the IIB knows where we are. We have our devices activated. We said our goodbyes and headed down the main street, where we ducked into a cafe. I saw a woman sitting in the corner. She looked down at her Quan pad, then up at us before waving us over. We made our way over to her. She stood and greeted, I am Brianna. She said in a tone only audible to us, Peter sent me pictures of what you two would look like in disguise. I promise I will not blow your cover. I know Peter gets upset when people do that to him. I am Jordana. Most people call me Danny, I returned, shaking her hand. Jake pulled out a seat from me. I sat and gestured to him. This is Jake, my partner, and my oldest daughter's father. When we all sat, I raised the privacy wall. I am sure Peter has told you I do not trust easily. Considering you were raised in foster care and had no idea how you got there, I am not surprised. She tilted her head to the side. Is it true that you were captured by these people as well? I nodded. I was, yes, for 6 months, and Jake for 10 years. I grew up in captivity as did Adam and Peter. I thought for the longest time that you had it the easiest of us all, but now I realize you might have had it harder. When you grow up in that environment, you don't know that there is life outside of the compound. I nodded. I didn't realize that there was life outside of foster care either until I met people at school who told me about their home lives, and those lives were nothing like mine. I understand that you are a doctor too. A neurobiologist. You are a surgeon, right? You are the commander of the Freedom Alliance's 1st MASH unit? I am. Jake and I are both surgeons. He is my chief surgeon. I am handling the command aspects, and he is handling the medical command portion. We are trying to figure out how this disease originated. Our investigation has led us here, but I am concerned with the change I have seen in our parents. When they came to me 8 years ago, they were sweet and now they are radically different. I understand that captivity does strange things to people, but I am having trouble understanding the switch. She twisted her mouth, then decided, let's order before we discuss it. We lowered the privacy wall. Jake and I studied the menu before the waitress, who seemed to be a tin can robot, approached. The robot did not say a word, but it had instructions located on its body. We inputted our orders onto the screen in the chest of the robot. Then the chest opened and our food appeared. We picked up our drinks and dishes and set them in front of us. We ate in silence for a few minutes before I raised the privacy wall. Okay, what do you know? She ate a few bites of Kilo 8's version of a salad with a leafy vegetable and a mixture of other vegetables and fruit sitting on top of a bed of lettuce. I have suspected for a while that the island committee members have been slowly poisoning them. I think they were poisoning all of us because there are gaps in some of our memories, and fake memories that have been implanted. I put a sandwich to my mouth that had several types of meats and cheeses on it. It was a sandwich that Josh used to feed me in captivity. I can see that. I have gaps in my memory, and this is going to sound strange, but I have memories of growing up with all of you, that I did not have before being captured, and that I know cannot possibly be true. I bit into the sandwich. She choked. When she calmed, she admitted, Peter, Adam and I did too, and I suspect Mom and Dad as well. The question is, Jake wondered, putting the same sandwich I ordered to his mouth, what would be the purpose in that? He took a bite of his sandwich. Is it perhaps to distort reality? To make us question what is reality and what is not, I wondered, nibbling on my sandwich. If we start to question our reality, did I grow up in foster care or did I really grow up with my siblings? Then we are not going to go after them because they have made it look like they and the captivity was a figment of our imaginations. But I know I was captured, Jake protested, waving his sandwich around. I know I spent 10 years away from you and our daughter. I know what is reality and what is not. I understand that, Jake, I confirmed, pausing to sip my soda, but I still think that there is something on this planet that is causing this disease. I don't know if it is the soil or they are poisoning people, or if I created this disease, and don't remember. They turned to me and asked in unison, what? I know that I was brought in to try and cure this disease. They brought in brilliant people to try and cure it, I continued, lifting my sandwich to my mouth again, but I know they also had me creating diseases, because they said I created this one. They said they abducted me before to create diseases, and this was one of them, and it got out of hand. I bit off a corner of the sandwich. Do you believe that? Brianna questioned, tilting her head to the side to study me. Is there evidence that you might have? She slammed her hand on the table. You have memories of you creating that disease, don't you? She poked her vegetables and bit them off her utensil. I nodded. They started surfacing since I arrived here. I don't remember having memories of growing up with siblings or creating this disease until I arrived back on this planet, so I wonder if it is something here that implants the memories. I don't know. I put the last of my sandwich in my mouth. I don't think you did this. I don't know you well, but I don't get the sense from all we have read about you, she decided, talking in between bites of her salad, and your accomplishments that you would intentionally create this disease. And if you did because you were forced, I think you would know it on some level. I suspect you are tormented by the thought that you could have done this. I know that you have dedicated your life to saving people, and I am sure you have had patients who have died, but this would be you intentionally doing this. I cannot see you being able to live with that. I lowered my voice and asked, how much do you know about me? I know that you are a federal agent with the IIB and are close with Dax Wheaton and General Graham. She sipped her thick lemon concoction before gesturing to Jake. Not sure what is going on here though. I cannot figure out if you two are together or not together or what. I would like to know that myself, Jake agreed, finishing up his sandwich. She agreed to dating me again, but we have been the loves of each other's lives since high school. Then I was held captive for 10 years, and she marries someone else. He turned to me. I understand your reasons. I get you had to marry him, but I don't know that it helped the cause. It just produced 2 children. I put my hands over my face and took a deep breath.
If you would like to learn more about Anna Gale or to purchase her fiction and nonfiction books, go to AnnaGaleLines.com. That is AnnaGaleLines.com. Right now you can buy 3 ebooks and get the 4th one free. There you can sign up for the newsletter to keep up to date on what is happening in the world of the Anna Gale Lines podcast, where she inspires people to take control of their lives, and her science fiction podcast, the Space-Tastic Mysteries podcast. To follow her on social media, it is Anna Gale Lines on Twitter, Lady Anna Gale on TikTok, Anna Gale Lines Artist on Instagram, at the Anna Gale Lines podcast on YouTube. You can join the Facebook page at Author Anna Gale. Thank you for listening and thank you for being you.